Hi there, welcome again to our review of the next lesson. So, therefore, we're done with the muscular system. Let's talk about the other system of the body. So, based on the animation that you see there, it's the example of our skin and its layers and other parts of it. So, for our objective, we need to identify the different parts of the integumentary system and its function. So, all human beings, whether what color you are in or the color of your skin, we are covered by this gland. So, muscles may help us to move, but of course, it needs to be protected by a cover known as skin. So, if this is the muscles that we have in our face, without the covering, this will not be protected against some foreign bodies that may infect our muscles. Therefore, we need our skin. So it ranges from different colors, from lighter down to darkest pigments. Even in our palm, let's say our skin do have this particular, we call it the fingerprint. So each fingers in our hand do have different fingerprints. No, the same individual has the same fingerprint. Even though they are twins, they do have different fingerprints. So, like what I told you, each individual has his or her own unique fingerprint. Fingerprints were first used in criminal investigations in 1860. As an additional information for you to know. So therefore, from head to toe, if you are going to observe your body, the organ that covers the entire is of course the skin. The integumentary system acts as a barrier from the outside environment. It protects the body from harmful organisms, bacteria, virus, and so on, even in temperature and other external factors that may really affect our body. The integumentary system consists of skin, hair, glands, and even nails. It includes the nails and, of course, the nerves. So, in your skin, consider to be the skin is the main organ of the integumentary system. Like what I said, it covers the whole body from head to toe. So it composed of four types. It may be an epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and the nerve tissues. So one by one, let us just randomly check up of this. So the epithelial covers the body surface. It may be in this type, what you see in the animation. It may be in the form of stratified one or cuboidal. This is an example of a squamous cell that may function for fast absorption and diffusion, making thin membranes in our body, and some of them are in columnar cells for absorption of nutrients and production of secretions. Aside from that, we have the connective tissue, so it provides support and protection. It is connected to the bone. So if you're going to check in the chicken muscles, you will see those connective tissues. Next, we have the muscle tissue, and it involves in body movement, as you can see here in the animation what it composed of, plus the visual under the microscope. And last, we have the nerve tissue. It forms body communication network. So let's say that the skeletal tissue or muscle are considered to be voluntary and controlled by you, but in times that when you accidentally hold something hot, This nerve tissue acts on your muscles, going to your brain, sending message for you to remove your or move your hand away from the hot objects. And this is what it looks like under the microscope. Next part is okay, so the outer part of the skin is called the epidermis. It consists of epithelial cells. So the outer layer of the epidermal cells contains protein called keratin. This is the keratin, as you can see there. It is waterproof and it protects the cell and tissues that lie underneath it. So again, it's the epidermis. It contains keratin. The outer layer of the epidermis contains dead cells that you can remove when you are taking a bath, like this. So the inner layer of the epidermal or epidermis cells is continually dividing to replace the cells that die or lost. Some cells in the inner layer of the epidermis provides protection from harmful ultraviolet radiation by making melanin. That's the brown pigment of your skin. Like this one. It ranges from light to dark colored melanin. So melanin absorbs the light energy, which protects inner cells from the damaging effect of ultraviolet rays from the sun. The amount of melanin produced by the skin also influences the color of the person's skin. Looking at the countries we're in, if the country is near the equator where there is a direct sunlight, you will see the color of their skin from dark going to light. They have light colored because of the radiation, less radiation coming from the sun. Next layer of the skin is called the dermis. It is considered to be the second layer and it's beneath the epidermis. It is 15 to 40 times thicker than the epidermis. It consists of connective tissues that prevent the skin from tearing and enables the skin to return to its normal state after being stretched. Or somehow, it is the one that considered to have this flexibility or elasticity effect. And it contains structures including nerve cells, muscle fibers, sweat glands, and hair follicles. This is what, or this layer shows the dermis portion. What else do we need to know? Beneath the dermis, you will see a layer of connective tissue that stores fats and help the body retain heat. The yellow, they are called the fat lobules. Here, it somehow stores those fats and it helps us to retain the heat of our body. So what about the hair and nails? They're still part of our skin. The hair, the toenails, and fingernails contain keratin and develop from epithelial cells. So the hair cells grow out from the narrow cavities in the dermis. That is called the hair follicles. The hair follicles have sebaceous or oil glands that lubricate the skin and hair to avoid drying of the skin. When glands produce too much oil, the follicle can be blocked, resulting to whitehead, to blackhead, or even acne if there is too much oil. So now, these are the functions of our in our integumentary. It protects the body's internal living tissues and organs. Another function of our integumentary or the skin, it protects the body against microorganisms and invasion by infectious organisms. It protects the body from dehydration and against abrupt changes in the temperature. It helps dispose of waste material somehow in the form of sweat. What else? It acts as a receptor for touch, pressure, pain, heat, and even cold. It stores water and fat. So it helps us in the production of vitamin D. So therefore, I hope you learned something from this topic that we review. That is all about the integumentary system. Remember the different parts and as well as the function of the integumentary system. Thank you very much and bye bye.